All right. What's up, everybody? Right now, we're going to be talking about Enshrouded, and we're just going to give this video a watch, a little review video that I found, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Enshrouded is. New game just came out in early access today on Steam. Let's check it out.
Enshrouded is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, the next big co-op survival game. In the past 2 weeks, I've spent over 60 hours exploring the early access build, which officially released today. Trust me when I say it is massive. I find it a refreshing take on the open world survival genre, with great mechanics from my favorite titles, like Valheim, Zelda, Breath of the Wild and Rust, but especially in terms of combat and building, Enshrouded really stands out. From storyline and core mechanics to open world exploration and even bosses further down the road, there is so much to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Foriam and welcome to the channel. Today, I am super excited to share everything you need to know about the game after playing it for plus 60 hours. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get right to it. I quickly want to thank the team behind Enshrouded, Keen Games, for giving me early access ahead of the release, so I was able to prepare all this content for you guys. I'm gonna be honest though, it was a pretty difficult past 2 weeks as I wasn't able to share any information, which we're gonna do today. This will be your full review in which I share pretty much everything you need to know about the game. So I'm gonna add timestamps in the description with the different chapters, while I do recommend you to watch from beginning till the end to not miss out on any information, important things you need to know about the game. So let's begin with the story and progression. You are Flameborn, the last ember of a dying race who awakens in a world polluted with rot and corruption. You will hear about other survivors trapped in dangerous corners of the world, and your goal is to get out there. You want to rescue these companions and they will become your friends. They will help to settle in this harsh environment and also unlock powerful upgrades for your character.
Nice.
While sometimes the progression is locked behind certain quests and items you need to acquire during your adventures, the majority can be done without combat. In most cases, you have to solve puzzles, find these ancient pillars where you have to do a couple jumping mini games to unlock new parts of the world and also gain access to new companions, which also unlock new blueprints. These can also be found in strongholds filled with enemies, but even these can be rescued without brute force, as you can simply sneak inside and take those guys with you. So yeah, you can become a peaceful farmer, settle down on a nice plot of land, build yourself a magnificent base, or maybe fight your way to riches as a brute warrior. But in other words, the possibilities are limitless, as your playstyle and the way how you approach the game, peaceful, aggressive, solo, or with a group of friends, all this has a place in Enshrouded. Combat is very similar to that of one of my favorite survival games of all time, Valheim, where you also have very similar mechanics like blocking attacks with your shield, parrying or dodging incoming damage. You can find a wide variety of weapons, from blunt weapons to slashing swords and heavy-hitting axes, but also all sorts of bows. Not just one type of bow, but short bow, medium and long bows, wands and staves. So you can always come across something interesting to use for any combat situation. What I really like about Enshrouded is that it also comes with an auto-aim or snap feature. With a click of one button, you will automatically focus your camera to one target, which is going to make avoiding damage with dodge rolls a lot easier, or in general, landing arrow hits on smaller wildlife. This makes casual combat and playing with a controller in general very nice, while this doesn't automatically deal the highest amount of damage. You will actually get rewarded for landing skill shots. Especially with a longbow, it's super satisfying to hit enemies in the head, as this is going to deal much more damage. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I wasn't able to check out the magic just yet, but from what I've seen so far, there is magic damage, fire damage, lightning damage, you can heal, so there are so many different types of build possible in this game. So yeah, why not talk a little bit about the talent system. So here we have my level 20 Sauron character. Well, she pretty much looks like it. So here we go. This is the talent system. If we look at the borders, all the names you can see right there, it's clear that there is a lot possible in the game. You can make a ranger build, beastmaster, survivor, athlete, barbarian, warrior, tank, mage, healer, wizard, trickster, assassin, there are so many different options, and the nice thing is you can distribute your points based on your playstyle. So say you want to become a barbarian with a two-handed axe, but also cast some magic every now and then, maybe even heal yourself while you're exploring dungeons. All that is possible. While you're at it, why not also pick up the double jump or the updraft, which is going to make your glider adventures so much easier. Reach distant lands without a problem, or I don't know, if you have a bow, it's always going to be interesting to pick up a skill like Eagle Eye. Not only is this one amazing to make landing headshots a little bit easier, but it can also be used as scope to spot treasure in your surroundings, for example this copper node right in front of us. There are so many possibilities, it's practically impossible to cover all those in today's video, and it feels like I've only scratched the surface in terms of building different types of playstyles. I primarily checked out Assassin and Ranger because I simply really enjoy sneaking about and also taking out my enemies with heavy hits from afar, but I'm very much looking forward to exploring new builds in the future as well, which I'm gonna definitely share with future videos. Next up, we have the building, which I think Enshrouded is amazing at. I mean, this is without doubt one of the strengths of the game. Not only the combat, but also the building is going to cater a lot of people. Because I know the casual player out there who just likes to enjoy literally hours building or simply make your farmlands as efficient as possible to provide the entire crew on your server with nice battle snacks. The building mechanics in it are very similar to that of Rust and Valheim, if we have a look at the building elements, but I think it feels much better. More about that in a second, but let's quickly focus on the voxel part, as you can basically destroy anything you come across in the world. Not only structures made by humanoids, but you can also dig pits, make your own hobbit home in a hill, or maybe even a dwarven keep underground. All this is possible. I primarily spent my time building above ground because I kind of like the sunshine every now and then and also have the stars above me, but I'm sure many people are going to absolutely love the building mechanics in this game. The core mechanics of the building are pretty straightforward, while they actually made some of these so much better in comparison with other survival games. No more tedious resource pickup mechanics and limited carrying weight, which makes building larger structures very annoying. Especially when I think about Valheim, I simply didn't like building bigger projects. I simply gave up on those because you always had to pick up all the trash that was left on the floor. In my opinion, this just breaks the fun of building, and Keen Games came up with an amazing solution to this. In Enshrouded, you will craft building blocks of all sorts of materials, which aren't placed like cheap Lego blocks, but instead convert to these practical elements like doorways, windows, to make such beautiful buildings, filled with detail. And what I really liked about it as Explorer is that they also tied a little minigame to this. So instead of automatically unlocking all the building blocks whenever you find certain resources, you sometimes have to go on a special quest to explore hidden tombs and secret treasure, where you can unlock a new rare building block, like the luminescent block or the graveyard blocks. I forgot the name for a second, but with the luminous blocks, you can simply light up your base during the day and night. This is one of my absolute favorite ones to make. Again, a guide for all this is going to come up very soon, in which I share all the most epic building blocks which you can get your hands on. But this alone will be amazing for builders, as they don't just start building, but they
Bush Loaded, the greatest hits tour. With special
actually have to explore the world, unlock cool new pieces to pimp their base, which are scattered across the world. Trust me guys, I can just keep going and going. There is just so much to talk about, but I know, maybe you already look forward to just playing the game and you're just very curious about the world size. 4am, how big is the world? I just want to know so I can start my adventure. Well, it's big. It's massive, in other words, because you will have access to a whopping 24 square kilometers. That's 8 kilometers in width and 3 kilometers-ish in height. For all the hours I've spent in the game, over 60, sometimes even rushing through the content and zones to share everything in this guide, but that wasn't even close enough to find all the borders of the currently playable world in the early access build. That being said, the world is handcrafted. All the landmarks have names in the world and the biomes are fixed. So let me be clear, this is not randomly generated like you have in worlds like Valheim and Minecraft, where you can choose a particular seed and have a pretty cool world. This one already comes with a cool world, so you don't have to do any generating. This is amazing for me personally because I was addicted to generating the perfect seeds in, for example, Valheim, if you saw my videos about that. Early game farming zones are close to each other, while progressing to the end game, it's going to be more difficult to get through higher level mist. That is basically how you progress in the game. But yes, the world is massive, there is a lot to do, and if I quickly open up the map, I don't know, man, I'm just gonna do it, share with you guys how massive this world is. I'm gonna just blur out everything. This is as far as we can zoom. If I go down, that's basically where we find the border of the starter zone. If we follow that, wow, man, there is just so much still. That's about 8 kilometers in width from west to east, and from south to north, that's about 3 kilometers. Just go to the right side right here. I think realistically, I've only seen like 40% of the playable world as of today. Again, this is after 60 hours of playtime, sometimes even rushing or even speed running through quests to share as much as possible with you guys today for not only this review, but plenty of guides ahead. My honest thoughts, that would be easily 50 hours of content for you guys if you just do the exploration, casually read the quests and go from one place to the next. Well, if you do a little bit of building every now and then, farm some materials, man, easily 100. All the different talents we have make up for different builds, also your playstyle, all the building you can do right next to that, and of course how you approach the storyline when either playing solo or with friends. The difficulty, I saw a lot of discussion on the official Enshrouded Discord, many people fearing that the game was not going to be very challenging. I mean, in the closed beta, which I participated in myself as well, things felt a little bit easy. While we only had access to a very small portion of the game, it was the very early stages of it, but trust me guys, this is just the beginning. There is so much more coming your way, and I think a perfect example is one of the bigger bosses you will come across at a certain point. You might have already seen it in the trailer. It's a big guy. I didn't come prepared and he literally one-shot me, so it wasn't very easy to take him down. I first had to go back to my base, prepare, and trust me, I am experienced with survival games, so it wasn't my lack of skill that killed me, but simply because I was out-geared. Very important detail, when I took out the boss and all the other things I did basically, I was playing solo because we didn't have servers back then, and yeah, it felt good, like a single player experience, but I kind of fear that if you have like 5 to 10 people prepared to the fullest to deal with this boss, it's gonna feel pretty easy. You're just gonna hammer that thing down in just a couple seconds. But my personal view on the single player experience, I think the scaling from beginning till more the late game, let's say for the early access, everything felt pretty balanced. Every now and then you will get caught off guard and enemies can land some pretty scary combos which can finish you off in no time. While if you properly use your dodge roll, eat a couple snacks to prepare for battle, then you're gonna manage for sure. Repairs are also very important to mention, as in many survival games your stuff will break. You will lose levels, which can be super frustrating if you die because of either a disconnect or some mosquito just flying from the planes, instantly one-shot killing you from the back. Man, I have just amazing experiences because of that, but I also sweared a lot in the process. But with Enshrouded, you don't have to worry about that. You will primarily lose resources you picked up during your adventures, like ores or trees you chopped down, but all the essentials, like your weapons and armor, you will have these equipped. So you don't have this tedious item management all the time, every time when you pick up all the goodies from your corpse. The system is a little bit smarter. Say you jumped, let's say, fell off a cliff, and you die at the very bottom in a ravine. Instead of placing the grave there, it actually happens on the top. So it's going to be much easier to retrieve your belongings. Enshrouded adds so many simple solutions to problems which can make things very frustrating in survival games. And this is why I once again want to thank King Games for delivering such an amazing product. Wow, I hear myself talking and it literally feels like I'm promoting the game or something. But trust me, guys, that is not the case. Anyways, last but not least, the pros and the cons. What's good about the game and what wasn't? First off, the amount of content, the open world exploration, things to do in general. Well, all this is a lot. Combat felt really good with a snappy outer target, rolling, blocking, and finishing moves were very nice to do. I primarily use the bow to hit enemies between the eyes, super satisfying, while I'm sure all the magic, especially with multiplayer if you want to heal allies, do dungeons together, especially towards later game. I think this is going to be a lot of fun as well, as you can actually craft a ton of different armor sets, which all give unique bonuses for these classes. At first, the building mechanics felt a little bit weird and it took a little bit of time to get used to them, while right now I think it's going to be very difficult for me to play another survival game with, I would say, more primitive building mechanics. These all felt really good, and the more you build, the more fun it becomes, especially because you can easily get rid of all the blocks. They will automatically get back in your inventory, and especially building bigger buildings is going to become easy mode because you don't have to deal with all that carry capacity mess. What I didn't like that much, and this is probably not the case for everyone, really depends on your build, but I have an RDX 4090, so I would say I'm pretty much ready for this release build-wise. I encountered quite some stutters, flickering of shadows, and also weird rendering when quickly flying or gliding above a certain area. Damn. You had these black spots on the walls, which kind of break the immersion, but I'm pretty certain that they will fix this over a short amount of time, as this is probably made to render in the voxel world as quick as possible. And yeah, the difficulty. This is something I can't really judge because I haven't played the game multiplayer yet, but I am almost certain this is going to become a lot easier when you're basically taking out a boss with multiple friends. Who knows, it's gonna be different, but yeah, that is basically everything you need to know about the game. So right now I'm just very curious what you think about Enshrouded. What are your pros and cons? What are you most looking forward to when exploring the game? Share your thoughts. I'm super curious to read them and also reply to those. There is a lot of content coming your way, I can assure you that. And yes, be welcome on the Discord, be welcome on our community server. All the info can be found in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you found this review helpful and want to help other people find this a little bit easier in the algorithm. Right now, though, it's 4 AM out. I would wish you an amazing day. Good luck maybe with the game. I'll check you in the next one. Take care. Peace.
Cool. Alright, that's Enshrouded, guys. You guys gonna play it? I might. I think I'm gonna pick it up. I think it's like $20-something. It's really not that expensive. But yeah, if you're gonna pick it up, let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitch, Kythris, and we'll see you in the next video, guys.